Okay, let's look at example number 6. It's asking us to find the division of two polynomials and to find the quotient and the remainder when 6x squared minus 7x minus 1 is divided by 2x plus 1. So we set this up like a traditional division problem, a long-handed division problem that we've done before. Have our little division bar. We place kind of our numerator, which is the 6x squared minus 7x minus 1. So we get 6x squared minus 7x minus 1. And we're dividing that by 2x plus 1. So what this looks like is what happens if we do this. Now, in order to figure out what the division is going to be, we have to run through this long-handed form. Some texts will call this synthetic division. What you have to concern yourself with is trying to create terms that will multiply in order to make what we have. So your first concern is to look and say, okay, well, what would we multiply 2x by to get to 6x squared? Well, to go from 2 to 6, we get 3. And to go from x to x squared, we have an x. All right? So that's our first term that we've created, and that's just based off of these first two. What these two multiply to make that. Now what we have to do is we have to multiply our 3x by this entire part and place it down below. Okay, so the 3x times this whole thing is going to go inside of here. Now we have to subtract that away, so we want to put these inside of brackets. So 3x times 2x makes 6x squared. The 3x times the 1 is going to make a positive 3x. And so when we finish our line here, you're going to get 6x squared minus 6x squared, and that makes 0. That should always cancel if you did your job right the first time. Then we're going to have negative 7x minus a positive 3x. And so that is going to be negative 10x. And we bring down our negative 1. Now our next step here, we need to multiply and figure out, okay, what do we multiply 2x by to get to negative 10x? So in order to go from 2x to negative 10x, we have to do a negative 5. So this step now, we take our negative 5, and we have to multiply it by our 2x plus 1, and that is going to be subtracted away from what we have left. Okay, so negative 5 times 2x makes negative 10x, and our negative 5 times positive 1 makes negative 5. So then we have to see what our remainder, or what we're going to have left. So when we crunch our math, so negative 10x minus a negative 10x, that makes 0, because we've done that right. And then we have negative 1 minus a negative 5, so that's adding 5 to negative 1, and that should make 4. So this is our remainder. So what we actually have here is that 6x squared minus 7x minus 1 divided by 2x plus 1, that equals what we found here at the top, which is 3x minus 5, and a remainder here, which is 4. We have 4 of these things left over. Plus 4 of these 2x plus 1s. Okay? So that's what we, in a sense, have left when we do this problem. Okay? Now, this can be written in several different ways, but that is kind of what we would end up with. So this concept will come back later when we talk about when we talk about asymptotes and slant asymptotes and things. But if we want to divide two things, this is what we will end up with. Okay? So just make sure that you're paying attention to only those first terms, and then the rest will kind of take care of itself.